Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, we're live in the studio, so get involved in the chat in the comments. Going to be talking about all the latest Manchester United news. We've got some transfer news we're going to get our teeth into. We've got a bit of a Mason Mount update as well, and a few other bits and pieces. So make sure you are hitting that like button. If you're not doing so already, give us a subscribe too. Good to see loads of people in the chat already. Mick Hullahan, Santa Notch, Mickey Tracy, Real Recognises Real, Jacoya Trot, all you wonderful people in there, and some new ones as well. Thank you for joining the channel. Jav says, where is Jay's shiny dome? Well, it is here. Thank you. Let's talk about Diomande, right? This is a story that's doing the rounds at the minute. There's a lot of hype around this youngster, and he's been linked quite heavily with Manchester United, Yan Diomande at RB Leipzig. So you can see it here. It's in the Mirror. It's in a few other newspapers as well. Scouts watch the next Haaland. That's a heady compliment indeed, as manager speaks out on summer agreement. So this is basically saying that Manchester United are looking at the looking at this winger. I think he can play on the right and the left. Plays there for Leipzig, and his numbers are pretty impressive. If you look, I'm just having a quick look there. We'll get to the story now. You can leave that up. But in terms of his numbers, he's got 9 goals and 6 assists as well. So that's in 23 games in the Bundesliga. I have done an Instagram post, by the way, producer Ben there, who's taking my picture, unless that's just for your own personal collection there. Producer Ben taking a photo of me. It's just something he likes to do on a Friday morning. Bless him. He's got a little album of pictures of me. So, sorry, yeah. 23 appearances in the Bundesliga. 9 goals, 6 assists. They're very good numbers. Are we worried? Do we worry about numbers in the Bundesliga? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I just feel we've been burned, haven't we, by Jadon Sancho. But he's 19 years old, obviously very, very talented. Now, it says here, United reportedly sent scouts to watch one of Europe's hottest young talents who can operate on both sides of the attack. And he's flourished since joining Leipzig from Leganes of the Spanish second tier, or Leganes. I don't know how you say it. How do you say it? Leganes. Thank you, producer Harry, helping me out there. In a 70 million deal last summer. Scroll up a little bit. It says, so far, the 19-year-old has registered 10 goals and 7 assists across 26 matches. They must be counting in cup matches. According to Fabrizio Romano, United sent several scouts to watch Diomande in January. It goes on to say, while they are far from the only interested party, they could have they could have an advantage, as the club's head of recruitment, Christopher Vivell, previously worked for Red Bull owned clubs Salzburg and Leipzig. One figure within the Red Bull football group has gone so far as to compare Diomande to a legendary former Salzburg striker, telling Flashscore he's the most gifted player within our system since Erling Haaland. So he's being compared to Erling Haaland, not in terms of the style of play. He plays on the wings. Erling Haaland's obviously a number 9, but how gifted he is. He's the most gifted player they've had since Erling Haaland. A lot of hype about him. United, though, are not the only show in town. The Scousers got their grubby little mitts, or try to get their grubby little mitts on him as well. I think we've got a different story. Is it the same one? We've got a story here about Liverpool being interested in Diomande. So this is from the Star. It says, transfer war with Liverpool for 87 million ace, most gifted since Erling Haaland. So it looks like Liverpool are in as well. It could cost a whopping 87 million. I mean, how big are Liverpool going to go in the transfer window this summer? You'd think they're going to buy some players, aren't they? But it went huge last season. Didn't they spend like £500 million? And a lot of those players didn't really work out to the levels they wanted them to. I think Ekitiki's done all right. He's been a bit up and down. Florian Wirtz took ages to get going. Alexander Isak's been injured, to be fair. It's not his fault. Then you look at players like Frimpong and Kirkes. Not really done much, have they? I think Kirkes has been a little bit better recently, but they're not exactly setting the world alight. So I suppose Liverpool are going to have to bring in some new players. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in for someone like him. But are they a little bit stacked on the wings? I don't know. Let me know what you think. It does seem that other clubs are going to be interested in. It wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool were. United need to sort of, if we are going to go in for this player, though, we need to convince him to come to Old Trafford. We can't just be going toe-to-toe with Liverpool and backing down or losing out to players to Liverpool, because I think next season they're going to try and get their act together. They've had a disappointing campaign this one, haven't they? As defending champions, it's been a bit of a shambles. So I expect them to be thereabouts next season. And Manchester United need to be going for the players that we want, especially if those players are ones that Liverpool want as well, because obviously that's going to help us get an advantage over them next season if this kid is all he's cracked up to be. Let me know in the chat, the comments, if you've seen much of him. I haven't, but let me know. The numbers are very good. The hype, it seems like there's something in that. A lot of people saying they like him. What do you think? Have you seen much of RB Leipzig? Have you seen much of Diomande? Would you have him at Manchester United? Ivor says 87 million for a 19-year-old winger from Bundesliga. Yeah, right. 87 million sounds like a lot. Are they going to get anywhere near that? I don't know, you know. I feel like with transfers now, just anything goes. Like, you see figures, right? And you go, no. And then you just, next thing you know, it happens, doesn't it? And when you got players like Florian Wirtz going for, what was it, 140 million? Something like 120 odd, whatever it was. Yeah, nothing surprises me. Like, it just seems like the sort of lunatics are running the asylum now when it comes to transfers. And we've even seen crap players go for 70, 80 million. We know we've bought some of them. So, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't far off that. Have Manchester United got the money to spend 87 million quid on an attacker? I don't know, is the honest answer. You could say, well, we're bringing another winger and Bruno and Cunha can both play down the middle so they can back up Sesko. Is that the thinking there? Maybe it is. Do United need to go out and spend big on an attacker? Do we need to go, right, if we are going to be there or thereabouts in the Champions League, if we are going to challenge for a title next season, or if we are going to cement Champions League qualification next season, do we need to spend big on attackers? Can we afford to just go for the 40, 50 million? Probably not. We probably need at least one sort of marquee attacking signing. Could Diomande be it? Let me know what you think. I don't know. Ineos and Glazers out, says Stephen Maguire, 545. It's not our money, it's the Glazers Ratcliffe. If we need players, then go for it. Harry Jarvis says. I mean, it is our money, really. Morning, Jay. Spurs will be looking for a new manager in the summer, probably sooner with the way they're going at the minute. Are you concerned that they might approach Carrick before we can decide, says M2K2 Shocks. Look, they could approach Carrick. That's within the realms of possibility. He was obviously a player there. His reputation is very good. And they're in an absolute mess. I'd be surprised if Igor Tudor even makes it to next season, to be honest with you. So that could happen. But I think if Michael Carrick believes he's got a shot at the Manchester United job, I don't think he's going to sign a deal or agree to go to Spurs. I don't. I think we'll be okay. We'll see. It might force United's hand a little bit if Spurs were to go in for Carrick sooner rather than later, but I think we're getting ahead of ourselves slightly. Sleejo James John says, all these numbers make recalling Rashford cheaper. Upside down smiling emoji. Yeah. I just think Rashford's done, innit? It's over for Marcus Rashford. At United, I don't see him coming back, and I think it's time we all moved on. I get your point, though, about the numbers. Let's talk about Kefren Turam. So, where's this from? Sorry? Centre Devils saying Juve midfielder joins Manchester United summer 2026 shortlist. In their bid to find a replacement for Casemiro, United are continuing their links with keeping an eye on talents at the old lady. That sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? But the old lady is, of course, Juventus. And it says, over the years, there's always been links between Manchester United and Juventus in the transfer market, whether that be the back and forth of Paul Pogba or the many what could have beens. Since he arrived at Old Trafford from Bologna, Juve have kept an eye on Xerxes, while Vlahovic has been long admired by the Red Devils. So it's going through all the potential almost signings and all the rest of it. And it says, Caught Offside has reported that United are now looking at talented midfielder Kefren Turam, with other Premier League sides also in the mix. It is understood that Liverpool, them again, and Arsenal are keeping an eye on the 24-year-old with Juve, having already set their expectations for the 24-year-old. 24-year-old twice in one sentence. Not very good journalism there. While Liverpool are understood to be considering a £39 million offer for the France international, the Italian Giants are wanting a much higher fee, with Kefren Turam in contract until 2029. Juve under no pressure to sell. So we'll have to wait and see. It seems like this is one to keep an eye on. Not hearing loads of noise, are we, about this one? It's not like you're going, oh yeah, that's on the horizon. That's going to happen. Central Devils and Caught Offside obviously running it. Not many other outlets, if any at all, running it. It kind of makes sense that United will be looking at him. Does it make sense that United are going to buy him or get in a bidding war with Arsenal and Liverpool? Probably not, but we do need midfielders. We do need reinforcements. Maybe Turam is that guy. Let me know what you think. Mick Holohan says, was high on Vlahovic before, but not now. Heaven Soul says, we've done it. We've been linked with every Thuram. Well done. Is Joe about? Joe? We've got a question here for you. Yorkshire Nev. Hi, Jay. Joe's always on hand. Joe just waits off camera for me to ask him a question. Come here, brother. Right, so... Says, hi, Jay. You mentioned Joe recommended you a coffee machine. Which one was it, as I'm looking to get one up the paddock? This is what we do on Stretford Paddock. We don't just talk football. We talk coffee machines, and we bring in the other owners to talk about it with us. The floor is yours, Senator.
Who's this from?
This is from Yorkshire Nev. You might know him because you're from not that far away.
I'm not far from Yorkshire.
Yeah.
DM me on Twitter and we'll go through it, because there is no one answer, and this is the problem. I need budgets. I need what shops do you live near? I need all sorts. I need what type of coffee do you like to drink? So DM me on Twitter and we'll go through it later.
Love that. Thanks, Joe. Cheers, I might call you up if someone's got another question about coffee machines.
Of course.
Okay, good stuff. Heaven Soul says, I've been wanting a coffee machine too.
Well, I'm not doing everyone's.
Joe's shouting there. I don't know if you can hear him. He says, he's not doing everyone's. Listen, DM him. He'll be fine. He loves it. He loves getting involved in coffee machines. Oh, absolutely was baffling the people in the shop when he was asking him all sorts of questions. He knows his stuff. Football and coffee. Paddock finally acknowledging the Italian way of life, says Notch. Should we just talk about coffee? If we keep losing matches, same, keep losing. We only lost one. Let's not be melodramatic. Let's talk about Mason Mount, the almost forgotten man. Where's this from? Football Insider. There you go. I saw it. Mason Mount's Man United exit stance revealed, says Peter O'Rourke. Mason Mount has no intention of pushing to leave United this summer, sources have told Football Insider. The attacking midfielder still feels that he's plenty to prove at Old Trafford and is currently focusing on trying to ensure that he can remain fit and in the matchday squad until the remainder of the season. It's a weird one with Mount, innit? So Mick Brown, who's former United scout, says that Villa and Fulham are looking at Mount, but sources say that Mount wants to stay. It's not really happened for him at United, has it, Mason Mount? He had a good start to the season. He had a good first half of the season. And then he got injured again. And now I don't think he fits into the system that Michael Carrick wants to play. And Michael Carrick prefers the likes of Kobbie Mainoo playing alongside Casemiro. Mount, who is someone who would play in a more attacking role, doesn't really fit a 4-2-3-1 unless he's in the 10, in my opinion. You may disagree. So he's sort of swapped places with Kobbie Mainoo, hasn't he? A few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, it was Kobbie Mainoo was sort of the pathway to the first team was blocked for him by Bruno Fernandes, which kind of made you think, well, he ain't getting in the first team anytime soon. And now it feels a little bit like that with Mason Mount. I know he's injured, and I know when he is fit, Carrick has used him off the bench. He was robbed of a goal, wasn't he, against City, Mason Mount. That was a goal. I don't give a toss what anyone says. That was never offside. I think it's nonsense and it infuriates me. But Mason Mount wants to stick around. I think has he got a year or is it 2 left on his deal? Either way, I'm torn with Mason Mount. I think it might be time to move on, but not to be all politicians' answer. I think it might be time to move on, but if he was to stay, I wouldn't have a problem with that. It's just the injuries as well. He's just not got going, has he? Let me know what you think. Get involved in the chat. I like Mount. Top professional. Good option off the bench, says Harry Jarvis. While Daz says Mount needs to move on. Rupert Howers says smash the like, folks. Let's talk about this under-19 defender we've been linked with. Mike McGrath from the Telegraph, who's been on the channel before, says Arsenal, Chelsea and United among teams chasing England under-19 centre-back Samuel Amisa, the 18-year-old, out of contract at Fulham in the summer after being part of the first team squad. Interesting, that one. Out of contract. And at that age, he's probably not going to be on mega money in terms of wages. He'll be on a decent wage, but not, we're not going to be talking anything like 200k a week. So that's one to keep an eye on there. That could be a good little addition if Manchester United can get that one over the line. Let's talk about one of my favourite topics, Bruno Fernandes. Statman Dave says Bruno Fernandes is on track to finish the season with 125 chances created in the Premier League. The only players who've ever bettered that are Kevin De Bruyne, Frank Lampard and Mesut Ozil, and they were all rubbish. Sitting at the top of the table, or sitting at the top table, I should say. Bruno Fernandes is amazing. That amount of chances in a team that for a big chunk of this season was underperforming and he was playing in the 6 is ridiculous. It just is, isn't it? So, well done to Bruno Fernandes. Hopefully he sticks around. I think the latest reports are that if we get Champions League football, he ain't going anywhere. He's going to stay for at least another season, and I hope he does because I love him, and those kind of numbers can't be easily replaced. I'm going to leave it there. Make sure, if you're not doing so already, you are hitting that like, share, and subscribe button. We've obviously got the brew. Later on, we've got a guest for the brew. I think Joe's joining us as well, so you can get your coffee questions into him as well. And I think it's going to be Jim from Slow Readers Club is going to join us too. So we'll have a action-packed brew later on today. Go and check out the merchandise. There's a link in the description. I've been Jay Moy. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.